Hello everyone, Manathrall here, and welcome to the weekly update video. Now, I'm going to try to make this a quick one, because I want to be able to get into Dimension of the Damned and try to actually get things going. So I have it loading in while I do this. Okay, so first off, the things, the actual update, the reading of this, Dimension of the Damned, it is out today. There's a handful of prizes. It is a PvM only type thing. You can grief other players, but you can't attack other players, even in the wilderness. So, you can start 1 hour timer using your HUD in game and rack up points while slaying as many zombies as you can to secure your place in the leaderboard. It says you can restart the clock at as many times as you like to get as many points as you can. This is the top 1,000 players after 10 days will make it through to the finale on the 28th for the chance to win selection of sought-off prizes, including but not limited to lifetime membership and an all-expenses paid trip to Jagex and 200 mil GP. Okay, so the need to know things about this. It is a Dimension of the Damned. It's PvM, even in the wilderness. All players start with max stats and starter gear. Catching zombieism from bites zaps your health, but if you could stave it off the effects by taking antidotes or by consuming modified shrimp prior to battle. These and other useful items can be obtained at Grix's shop in Falador using bottle corks. You can also get them from supply drops, but you'll only have 3 minutes to find the supply crate. Falador is the only safe spot, and if you are inactive, you'll be escorted back there. If you die, you go back there. However, if you're infected with zombieism, you cannot go through the gates. Banks across Gielinor will be open, in the free-to-play zones. And there's rules for the finale. If you're interested in that, you can actually find that on the main page. However, you can only play this in NXT. And the thing of it is, to top it off, even if you do have NXT, you still have to actually click this link in here on the main page, which will take you to this page, which then you have to click that, or to play now if you already have the client. This way your client will boot up in Dimension of the Damned beta mode. So do keep that in mind. That is actually what you have to do. You can't just go and log into a server, which is probably my only thing about this, is just try to have a server for like these kind of things instead of making people go in roundabout ways. That's all. That's my only comment on that. Lootscape is here. It starts this week, or it started before, but what you'll be able to do is if you link your Twitter account to your RuneScape account, and if you tune into live streams on Tuesday and Friday, you will be able to get something at least per month. They might do more down the road, but at least for now they're planning on per month. Which, for this week's streams for Tuesday, October 17th at 1200 to 1700 UTC game time, JMod's take on Dimension of the Damned. So there's actually a big time frame there. And Friday, October 20th at 1700 UTC game time, patch notes preview. And Sunday, October 22nd at 1900 game time, it's PvM with Mod Lee. So Tuesdays and Fridays, those are the ones that you want to actually tune into to get that twitching orb pet. Okay, now we will head into the patch notes. Hopefully, okay, some of this is actually going now. There's only 239 people on here, so I don't know. It might not be that popular yet. But as far as patch notes are concerned, graphical, the hair color for several Novemberfest NPCs have been fixed. The Warden of the Mind cape now appears in the preview window. Skills D&Ds and minigames. Players carrying only one defender in the backpacks will no longer have their warriors guild progress with Camphorina reset. Anti-fire, weapon poison, aggression potions, and wilder pie effects no longer stay active on free worlds. Free equipment from combat rooms and player-owned houses can no longer be disassembled. Players can now use the right-click fill all option on the Divine Nomadic Vacuum. Other Players can now define their maximum foreground and background frames per second in the NXT client via the graphics settings interface, which is actually kind of nice. I'm already set for 70 default, so I'm actually quite happy with that. The click radius on the player when using the completionist and trimmed cape emotes has been reduced to the same size as the normal player click box area. The Novemberfest host Joanna no longer shouts "thanks" during card events. The Novemberfest bar crawl dialogue no longer obstructs quest dialogue. The stats for the Highwayman near the Makeover Mage have been updated to match his pre-Mega May incarnation. NXT, the cash churn has been reduced. Point lights now affect terrain lighting and instances. High frequency noise visible on newer normal mapped models when viewed close up has been reduced. The RAM usage in the shader system has been reduced by around 20 megabytes. Some animation states have been optimized. Last week's hotfixes: players with 100 filled keepsake slots can now log in consistently. Players can no longer get trapped within the Novemberfest Ogre activity. Novemberfest random event messages have been added to the game spam filter. All Novemberfest activities now give charity tokens. Wally Whoppertingers no longer delete themselves when picked up. The Chaos Elemental's free-to-play drop table has been improved. The drop rate of the Mystic Cloth from Enko has been reduced. The Giant Mole now drops a minimum of 3 Mystic Cloth to potentially be shared between 3 players. Member item drops on the Young Groutworms have been replaced with 5 Bronze Javelins, 2 Trout, and 2 Anchovies. Green Dragons now drop 2 Lobsters on free worlds. Like Blue Dragons, they no longer drop Bass. Cyclops and the Warriors Guild can no longer drop Dragon Defenders on free worlds. Members can now pick up cats. Lapse-free players can now call and or dismiss their followers after dropping a cat or kitten. The Evil Tree D&D now resets correctly for free players. The Evil Tree and Shooting Star D&D buffs now restart correctly upon logging in on a free world. Newly bought auras can now be activated. Next, Angel of Death no longer switches target after using special attack. Ninja fixes. The artifact at the Edgeville Wilderness wall that teleports to the King Black Dragon lair can now be activated on free worlds. The cost of Mystic Armor has been lowered to rebalance its alch value. The cost of the Mystic Cloth has been increased to reflect the value of the Mystic Armor. The examine option for the Museum Guard, where the Varrock East Fence has used to be, has been updated. Updated models have been added for the Carapace, Spider, Wizard, Black Wizard shields, as well as Black Wizard gloves and boots. Wearing a Splitbark body will no longer hide player's amulet. The Loom and Felidor Cabbage Patch can now be used on free worlds. Blurite can now be smelted into Blurite bars on free worlds. The drop-down menu titles for Batwing and Carapace have been corrected when using the Crafting Make X interface. Fire runes are now given instead of blood runes and soul runes when dungeoneering on free world. Baby Dragon Bones are now non-members objects. Camfrina in the Warriors Guild no longer tells free players that they can get Dragon Defenders from the Cyclops. Fire Giants now drop Batwing wands or books instead of fire battle staves on free worlds. U-trees are now correctly marked as non-members in the woodcutting skill guide. A segment of the Varrock fence of near Tolna's Rift that survived the purge has been eradicated with extreme prejudice. Logging into a free world inside the Mage Training Arena will now teleport players outside of it. So that is it for the patch notes. Now let's get into the actual event of Dimension of the Damned. Now it should all be loaded. I shouldn't have any issues because, well, I was reading all that while I was doing this. Okay, so when you go to do this, you actually have to physically create a character. I believe, yeah, you can't change any of that. So apparently, Apparently all of it didn't load while I was reading all that. So I'm just going to go for a goatee and play now. So I have no idea what my character looks like, but you know what? It doesn't matter for the sake of this stuff. It's just a one-time event. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't look like it's going to load anytime soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a video out for tomorrow all about the actual in-game play at Dimension of the Damned, and then we'll get back to you on that. But for now, we have the update, we have the patch notes, and I'll get you more info on this in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.